Hey guys, this is Garies and welcome back to my game video channel. Today we are back on the island map doing the lore videos. I will try to put up the chart again so you guys can see the progression as we go along. Today we are doing the second episode, which is Rockwell. So also I will link in the description where I'm hosting the image so that anybody can go and check that at any time if you want to, because I'll only show it for a while now and then I will take it away as we're doing the notes. Well, as I'm mentioning the notes, I'm doing it a little bit different today, guys. I have physical notes next to me. Previously, on the previous episode, I had it on my second screen. So I got bit confused because I have to scroll because it's a long list of notes. So that's why I'm having it on physical paper. That is very strange these days, but that is true. So also the notes today, guys, are very difficult to read. We are on Edmund Rockwell and you will see the way he writes the notes is very hard to read. So again, I will link to the notes on the Gamepedia page in the description and you guys can follow along those notes if you want to, and you can then read the whole note as you pause it. But the thing that will be the same is me summarizing the notes and telling you what I think what happened in that note, and I'm trying to lift out information that I believe would be important at the end of the day, and things that I think are really significant I will make extra note on that basically. Okay, so without further ado, guys, let's start off. So if we look at the Rockwell notes number 1, so right off the bat we find out these notes, or this journal as he says here, were written by Sir Edmund Rockwell. At the end he also signs it Sir Edmund Rockwell. By the way he's speaking, we can assume that he's a scholar and that he has manners, gallant gentleman, an explorer extraordinaire. So, and we also find out that he's an explorer. Well, that is if we can believe his writings. He's kind of tooting his own horn. So he almost sounds a bit pompous in my eyes, or the way he sounds here, or bringing himself forward. Well, as we progress through the notes, you will see that that's a general theme throughout all the notes. So, second note. Okay, so in this note, we find out that he's from London, and here on the island, he is studying the flora, and that he's found some way of making potions out of the flora, all the flowers on the map, or on the island that is. And if you play the game, you will see the mind wipe tonic, and in this note we found out that he's the one that makes it. And it seems like all the tribes in the area wants a recipe or a sample of it, and they are willing to provide him with lots of riches. Excuse me. Okay, note number 3. If we read this note, we find out there is two tribes that are a bit unfriendly towards each other. They rubbed each other the wrong way a bit, and that he seems to be the local negotiator between all the tribes. It seems like he's a neutral party, and this is the same thing we found in Helena's notes, but that is player knowledge. So if we don't use player knowledge, at the end we will combine all the knowledge basically. So in this, what I'm trying to do in each episode, we're just trying to focus on one guy or one person or NPC, as I mentioned in the previous episode. So we're trying not to bring up knowledge that we learned from a previous NPC. So yes, so there was friction between these two tribes and he tried to negotiate it, and he says if the one tribe brought fresh fish for him, and maybe he will side with them. So it seems his neutrality can be lopsided if a price is right. So it seems like he can be persuaded with worldly things. So you don't really want that in a neutral party. Okay, note number 5. Here we find out he finds Miss Walker. He views Miss Walker as an equal intellectual, and he regularly likes her visits from her that she every so often do. She comes by every so often to visit him, and he really likes it because he finds her as an equal intellectual, and he would like to make this whole island a scientific utopia if he could find more people with, quote, minds like theirs. This, I believe, is something we should keep in mind. This utopia that he wants to create. I believe that could be important somewhere along the lines. Okay, we're down to note number 6. It's getting dark. I just wondered what that sound was. Okay, so Garies says, okay, well, the summary about it is he finally got volunteers to test his latest concoction, fryer curry, which helps in cold climates. But he got these volunteers by being a little deceiving. So once again, we find something about his person that is deceiving or misleading people with white lies, so to say. So, okay, so he found volunteers, and yeah, okay, number 7. Let's hope we don't skip a note this time again. Okay, nothing interest happens here except that he also has an Argentavis, and and it's called Archimedes. So Helena has. Okay, sorry, we're not doing that. I'm just in the back of mind. He gave Helena a Argentavis as well. So, but that's just a side note, complete side note. Okay, note number 8. After losing subjects, and he's not mentioning how he lost these subjects, these test subjects, he thinks that he can reverse the effects of that fryer curry to have the opposite effect, basically helping in hotter climates. So we can see here he's testing and having trials with his potions and concoctions, and it seems like he doesn't put a lot of thought into the people that he's lost. So yeah, that is scary. Okay, note number 9. Okay, the flag says it all, but in any case, so the island's tribes have come together and asked Rockwell to help them. There is a new aggressive tribe called the New Legion that is quite aggressive, and they asked him to go negotiate with this fellow named Nirvana. So he mentions here a fellow. So as I said, it's not very readable, but yes, you can definitely follow along the notes on Gamepedia. I see there is quite a few spelling mistakes and sentences is different. I don't know if Wildcard maybe updated the notes or something, but yes, maybe I should go help Gamepedia and add the notes or fix the spelling mistakes. Maybe I'll do that after Valor's done. Well, this is taking a lot of time at the moment, so we'll see afterwards. So, in number 9, they asked for help. Let's check number 10. He found this Roman, quote, intellectually engaging, and he thinks the New Legion won't harm his research, so he sees no reason to interfere. So, in his mind, well, the New Legion has a good idea up their sleeves of maintaining the island and keeping it well maintained, or whatever goes through his mind. But in his mind, they're not going to affect his research, so they might as well go ahead. So, and as I said, I see no reason to interfere in this particular squabble. So, yes. So, unfortunately, he's not going to help the tribes that came to him asking for his help. Okay, we move on to note number 11. Over here, he's testing a new concoction of his, Shadow Steak and Battle Tartar, and it seems people are experiencing prolonged withdrawal episodes after they tested this concoctions. And here again, it doesn't really seem like he cares what happens to the people. It seems almost like, my guess is he's having the thought of the ends justifies the means. Don't know who of you heard that saying before, but I'm really getting the idea of this. But also, I believe we should keep this in mind. The ends justifies the means. This idea of justifying end. This will also come up in a later episode. So just keep this. I will reference back to this episode then. This is still this NPC that we're referencing. It's not a different NPC. So, but at the end, as I said, we will definitely bring all the references hopefully back into one final conclusion. But we'll see how that goes. Excuse me. Okay, then we move on to night number 12, right? Don't want to miss one again. Yes. He's taking a break from his experimenting on the recommendation of one of his assistants, and we learn here the assistant's name is Isabella. He refers quite a lot to her, so I think we should remember that name maybe for the future. Don't know. And he is now planning an adventure and one of spelunking. Just for those of you that don't know spelunking, the definition of it is exploration of caves, the literal exploration of caves. And sorry to overstep my own rule, but Helena also mentioned spelunking, so it's the same reference. Just want to mention that. Okay, so here's a picture of a cave, one of the caves that he will go see. Oh, and it shows a picture of one of the mountains. Rare flowers and mushrooms is also on here. Just a place for it. Okay, so now we move on to note 13. And here we see in that cave he found an artifact of an unknown composition, and it's pulsing with some sort of energy. Here you can see the artifact. It looks like the hunt. No, not the hunter. I don't remember the artifacts now. But in any case, so here's the artifact, and he says it's pulsing with some sort of energy. Okay, note number 14. Okay, he says Eureka, so he discovers something. He finds that the platform under one of the obelisks is responding to the artifact and vice versa. He surmises by the obelisks and the artifact's condition that it was made by the same people and the same era, but there's no other signs of this mysterious civilization. So this also, I think we should keep in mind, this mysterious civilization that made these things. So maybe it will come up, I hope so, because this is a general theme amongst the ARKs. So let's keep that in mind for now. Okay, so we can go on to note number 15. Okay, here he says, okay, after he tested with the artifact and obelisk, he can't test anything else. So now he's sad that the experiment must come to an end, but then he realizes that there might be other artifacts around that they can still find. In an earlier note, he mentions that the ARK may have more artifacts underground, so he's referencing that again. So he's now quite glad regarding that. Okay. So note 16. Okay, so after exploring and searching a bit, he found out that there is another tribe that already found 3 more artifacts. And here's the 3. This is a Mune. I believe this is Hunter actually. But this is an unknown one, so maybe it's one that Wildcard thought of implementing and maybe changed. But in any case, so this tribe found 3 more. And they say they are willing to continue the search and report to him in exchange for the artifact he already has. And he is happy with this, but because of this way, now he can go on with his original research and testing of these concoctions. So, continuing to the next note, number 17. Okay, new trials for testing a new concoction, the Lazarus chowder, went good, but he needs more volunteers and he can't find any, and it seems like he's not willing to risk the lives or risk his own assistants. So that means he actually do care a little bit about his assistants, and especially that Isabella, I think he cares most for her. But here again, it just shows his experiments are dangerous and he doesn't really care what happens to the volunteers for trials or human life in general. Yes, so he wants some primates, Gigantopithecus, to test on. So in note number 18, here we see he traded some Lazarus chowder. Remember, it's ones that he didn't test properly yet. So he traded some Lazarus chowder for primates to do his tests on. And the people that he traded with didn't question the chowder at all. But in the back of Rockwell's mind, he's considering this just another trial. So, and he really seems conniving and somewhat evil, because if these people that gave him the monkeys eats a chowder, at least he knows what the result will be. So, and he doesn't tell them, listen here, it could be harmful or anything. He just gives them gallons of it. It says here, exchange for entire contingent of, wait, where is it? So here, I was able to trade several gallons of my Lazarus chowder to a group of hunters. So really, he gave them quite a lot. Okay, so let's move on. Time is ticking by. So we're moving on to level 9. Not level 19, note 19. After he did all those adventures, we can see here he's losing his focus on his current studies of the potions and so on. His mind keeps wandering back to the adventures that he had. So I believe he enjoyed that much more than this evil plans of his concoctions. But yes, let's go on. Yes, look, it's now note 20. In this note, we see that Miss Walker or Helena came by to visit again, and that he shares his theories with her quite enthusiastically, and he realizes himself that he is fascinated with the subject, and that he's now planning to go check up on that tribe and see what they found after his next trials has concluded. And he's even thinking of asking Helena to join him on an exploration and getting the info regarding the new artifacts and so on. Okay, note 21. In that latest trials of him, he tested a broth of enlightenment, and he seems he's quite disappointed in the results. So it seems he's gonna go on his next adventure, but as he was preparing, Nirvana showed up unannounced or unwelcome guest. I'm not sure if he's welcomed or unwelcomed, but Nirvana showed up in the middle of prepping to go and find out more about the artifacts. So back to note 22. It seems Nirvana came by to offer him test subjects, because he's testing all these concoctions and so on. And also, he has a mutual interest in investigating the obelisk, so he offers him his support, and in return he asks for his reliable counsel from Rockwell. So the only thing that Nirvana wants is the input, so I believe he wants more info regarding the obelisk. And not earlier, no, that's still coming. Almost jumped ahead a bit. Reliable counsel. Okay, so let's go on to note 23. Gee whiz, what happened to my words there? So here we see that Rockwell accepted the offer and agrees to travel with Nirvana for a bit before they go study the obelisks. So he has a bit of a delay, but he has now support and resources at his beck and call, basically, to do the research. If you go to 24. Okay, so although Rockwell's not 100% sure what the obelisks do and what they are and what they can be useful, he's giving hints and suggestive hints to Nirvana that it could be weaponized to maybe coax him to go and study them a bit earlier. So it's note 25. So it seems that the coaxing worked a bit, and they finally head to one of the obelisks, and on their way they find out that a beast queen is also on the move to the obelisk. But Rockwell thinks, okay, well, doesn't matter. Why would such a heathen be able to uncover the truth alone? So he's not worried at all. Okay, moving on to note 26. Here we find out that he finds out that Helena is helping the Beast Queen, and is totally shocked and flabbergasted regarding this. But he keeps himself hidden from her. As you can see here, she's in a cage, so she can't really move around. So he's just hiding from her, and he's hoping that he could learn all the information that she also has and combine it for his own ends. So it seems like he's also kind of using Nirvana. If Nirvana finds that out, he's not going to live long. Okay, note 27. Here, basically what you can take note of is that he discovers that the obelisk, the platforms, transports people in a blink of an eye, and he's thinking of all the possibilities of transporting people from one end of the earth to the other. Nothing else noteworthy. You can maybe read through if you want and see if there's something that you believe that's important. The transporting is why I'm mentioning that, because of something that may happen in the future. So let's see what happens. So episode 20. Why do I say episode? Note 28. Okay. Here he is quite offended that Nirvana is following information that he got from Helena, and he's thinking to himself that Helena is basically lower than him, so why would Nirvana follow this inferior creature? Again, here you can see that he's very pompous and arrogant, and you can almost say he has some sort of god complex. Oh well, not really almost say it, you can basically say it, because he thinks so much of himself. Even a person that he said earlier is his intellectual equal, now he's breaking her down like she's nothing. Okay, so last note 29. Okay, so they are up in the sky. You can see here he's referencing a place on a tower or a pillar on Earth. But before we get there, let's start in the beginning. So Nirvana battled the final boss and lost all his men. And Rockwell just says, well, he would sacrifice the men 1,000 times over. once again, his regard for life is really not there. So he's fascinating by the metal placed high above the earth. No, wait, my notes, what? He's fascinated by the metal the place high above the earth is made of. It's similar of obelisks, but it seems to him that it's more alive. So, also just want to note on the Gamepedia, it has a quick, it's their own little note that they made. Yeah, they say also he appears to be a chemist from a 19th century London. So with this notes, with his notes written in cursive style English. So we found out in the first note that he is Sir Edmund. Is usually just in England and those regions that they call it Sir. In the second note we found out that he's from London, and he's talking about being a scholar and so on. So yes, with the 19th century basically is the only thing I want to take away from that one, because of a cursive style. It is a weird cursive style, but cursive style is still being written today, so it's not conclusive, but I do believe 19th century could be fine, since it's he's being a chemist and so on. He's studying flora and trying to make concoctions. I also thought it could be a little bit earlier than the 19th century, but yes, that's just my conclusion. So we have a bunch of new information. I'll let that simmer with you guys, go process it a bit with the last episode, and in the next episode I believe it would be Lee Mei Yin that we will handle in the third episode. So thank you guys for coming to join me. I hope you guys found some information that you probably didn't know, or hopefully didn't know. So that means I did my job properly. Getting more information. Well, I'm just going through the Explorer notes. Everybody and anybody can have that, but I hopefully I can combine it in such a way that somebody never thought of, and give you more information through that way. Please consider giving me a like, guys, or a dislike if you prefer. But if you do give me a dislike, please let me know why, so that I can work on my content and make it more enjoyable for everybody. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm bringing out content every day, almost every day. Sometimes I do skip a day or two. I am doing YouTubing part-time, so it is difficult to bring out content each and every day. But I am trying my best. I enjoy it, making content and giving information through to all of you. And if you have questions regarding the content, feel free to post them, and you can even join me on my public Discord channel. Link is in the description, and come ask me there. Come follow me on Twitter. I usually update there what I'm busy with what's the next episode, and even early access before the YouTube videos go live. So feel free to join me in any of my social media, guys. All links is in the description. Please check out my website, and again, if you haven't done so, please remember to subscribe, guys. I would appreciate it very much. And then I will see you in the next one. Cheers.